Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for taking some time to join us. We are really excited to be meeting with you this afternoon to share a little bit more about the MGT story, and we really appreciate you taking some time to join us. So let's go ahead and let's just do a couple quick intros, and then we will chat a little bit and get the party started. So, Jason, I'm going to be talking a lot today. Why don't you kick us off?
I'm glad to, Dan. Thanks. So welcome everybody. Super happy to have you here. This is one of, if not our favorite time throughout the entire week because we get to interact with agents who are brand new to MGT, interested in learning a little bit more. Dan and I get to have a little bit of fun. So make sure that you drop your questions in the chat because we love to interact with them live. That said, Dan's got a great presentation for you. Um, Warning in advance, we do like to have fun. So hopefully you all enjoy it. But my name is Jason. I am the head of distribution here at MGT Insurance, and it's my pleasure to be here with you today.
And my name's Dan. I'm the partner activation leader here at MGT, or, this is an industry that loves acronyms. So you can think of me as your pal, and I'll be here to support you, especially as you're getting up and running with us. Um, we are right at the top of the hour and really appreciate those of you who are already on the call for being right on time or maybe even a little bit early for the Gold Star students out there. While we give everybody else another minute or two to trickle in, I always like to start out with a question for you. And just going to go back to a classic here. If you had to pick between a vacation at the beach or a vacation at the mountains, where are you going? Use that chat feature to let us know.
I swear, one of these days, I'm gonna get you to add in the real vacation spot, just in the forest. I fundamentally disagree with your options here. Uh, we do have a response that is beach, and that makes sense. But I
Gotta
like the
love
forest. I like hanging my hammock between a couple trees and just forgetting that, you know, the whole world exists for a little while. So that's my
that.
favorite. What's Lettuce says beach? Oh my gosh, everybody thinks it's the
Got a
beach. Holy
lot of beach
cow.
folks.
All right,
I
Dan,
mean,
what is
hey, it
it
is
for
that
you?
time of year. I love both. I'm more of a mountain guy myself, if you couldn't tell from the beard. And so to me, just being on top of a mountain where it's quiet, peaceful, you feel that breeze growing, you are a little bit closer to the sun, that's a nice day to me. But
Do you
love
have a
kicking
favorite
back in the
mountain?
waves too.
Dan, do you
Uh,
have a favorite
which
mountain?
whichever one I'm on top of at the moment is my favorite.
Okay. All right. I don't, there may be some folks in the chat who've been here before, but Acadia National Park is my favorite place in the entire US. And some of the mountains there, like I know that Cadillac Mountain is like the popular one, definitely one of my favorites, but Beehive is the best of all of them. If anybody's ever been to Acadia, you gotta hike the Beehive Trail. But I love it, man. If you've never been, I would highly recommend heading out to Maine for Acadia because that's not far from you. I
Ooh,
mean, ish.
itch.
Yeah.
Not as far as it is from you, that's for
That's
sure.
true. Yeah.
Well, whichever side of the debate you fall on, I think there's one thing that everybody here can agree on, which is that it is just wonderful to be able to quote, bind, issue small commercial insurance policies in just 3 to 5 minutes. And so let's take a look now at how that all works. Let me go ahead and share my screen and get us kicked off.
And while you're doing that, I know you put it in chat, but I'll remind everybody we love questions. Please don't hesitate to drop them in chat, just like you did for Dan's call and response on beaches, whatever. But drop those in, we'll answer them live. We love interacting with you that way.
And with MGT, the era of Neo Insurance has arrived. And I know we've got some folks right now sitting at their computers saying, Dan, what the heck? A minute ago, you had me daydreaming about being out on the beach. Now you're throwing these crazy buzzwords at me. What is Neo Insurance anyway? And I would say to you that you can think of Neo Insurance in the context of the wider industry. We all know insurance carriers. A lot of them have been doing great things for decades, sometimes even hundreds of years. They've got the big TV commercials. And as they've grown, as they've evolved, for all the great things that they've done, ease of doing business and speed of transacting business have not always been their number one goal. Over the last several years, you've had different insure techs joining the space. These companies can be all kinds of different setups, MGAs, MGUs, wholesalers, comparative raters, etc. But when you start to peel away the layers of that onion and ask, what does this company do? Most of the time, they're not distributing their own insurance product. And a lot of times they're not even doing it with technology that they built. It's things that they've licensed from different vendors. And because they don't own the insurance product, because they don't really have that full control over the tech delivery platform, it can be really tough for them to keep up to date with things to really make things fast and easy through every step of the process. That's where MGT is a little bit different. We are the carrier. We're rated A minus by AM Best. We stand behind the claims that are underwritten through our platform, which we built from ground up. We even have in-house management of our claims team so that if there ever is a claim, you've got that MGT guidance to make sure that it plays out well for everybody. And so, because we are the carrier, because we are distributing our product on a platform that we built, it just makes us a little bit different. Do you see we have a hand raised? Just because of the scale of these webinars, we can't really enable mics, but please use the chat feature to ask your question. We'll be happy to cover that with you. Uh, So, a couple quick facts about MGT. As mentioned, we are rated A minus by AM Best, which is an excellent financial strength rating. We're also writing all of our policies on 100% ISO forms. Those are written by the Insurance Services Office. They're the most legally tested forms on the market. And if you've ever taken a designation class or when you took your licensing test, anytime it referenced policy language, very, very, very good bet it was referencing ISO policy language. What I think everyone will really appreciate, though, is that we've built a zero friction, 100% digital, fully online process where you will never have to fill out an Accord form. We'll never come back to you and ask you to fill out 45 pages of supplemental applications. And you don't have to do a 3 week long back and forth email chain with an underwriting team trying to get more and more and more additional information. In fact, working with MGT, you'll find that over 85% of our policies go from logging in to start the quote to bound and issued in 5 minutes or less. All quotes through our platform are fully bindable. It is not just queuing you up for underwriter review. As long as the details on the application are complete and accurate, you can take that quote to the bank. And we are admitted in over 40 states, plus Washington, D.C. So we've got a wide footprint to give you more opportunities to work together.
Although, to be clear, we don't write banks.
That is a good call out. So some numbers on your screen now. The one that I really like to highlight here is that in the last quarter, which is really just the last quarter we can go back and fully measure, our platform had 100% uptime, which means that 100% of the time somebody needed to access MGT to quote, bind, issue, service, or renew a policy, to help somebody with questions, to collect payment or share payment information with somebody, download policy docs. The platform was live. It was stable, reliable, online, not throwing up loading pages or endless error screens, so that it was there to help you accomplish your goals.
We got a question in, Dan. Is underwriting review done after binding that may result in policy cancellation? And I can take this one if that's all right.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so this is an interesting question to answer because underwriting review is typically done prior, right? If it's pulled up by the underwriting, but we will send out loss inspection on certain risk classes. And if we do find out that something is classed incorrectly, we do have spot reviews for that as well. We have a very complex technical review process that happens both before and after. So for instance, we got a cigar bar the other day that was classed as a restaurant, and the agent was able to go the whole way through and put it in. But then our underwriters did go afterward and find like, okay, well, cigar bars are not actually an appetite. This isn't actually a restaurant. So as long as you are following the appetite guidelines, and if you ever have a question, just reach out to us. Dan's going to talk about the chat feature. He's going to put up all of our contact info. So we're happy to talk. So the answer to your question, Yell, is kind of. We do our underwriting ahead of time the best that we can, but sometimes stuff doesn't pop up or sometimes it gets misclassified. The assumption is that nobody on this call would ever do that, but if that does happen, we do have some safety guards in place.
Yeah, I like to say that, it's a team effort here, and some frontline underwriting is a really important part of the process. So let's talk appetite so that you know what to look for. We are a great fit for over 300 classes of business, including artists and contractors, professional offices, medical offices, retail stores, wholesalers and distributors, your barbershops, beauty parlors, nail salons, bakeries, grocery stores, restaurants up to 50% alcohol sales can all be a great fit with MGT. We are looking for small business. For us, that means up to 3 million in revenue for most risks, up to 5 million is acceptable for professional and medical offices. We'll write businesses with up to 100 employees, up to 35,000 square feet as a general rule of thumb. There's a little nuance there from class to class, but that should be pretty good overall guidance. Up to 2 million total insured value per location with up to 4 locations per policy. And then we are flexible as well. So please send in those new ventures, those businesses you see with no prior insurance, coverage lapses, even claims history can be eligible. They should be easy. So let us show you how easy it really can be. So on this next slide, I like to take the chance here to point out that, while we do use the BOP as the base, I get caught all the time saying that we write just BOPs or we only write BOPs, and that's not completely accurate because there is a lot of coverage that you can add on to that base BOP policy. A couple highlights here. We do offer professional liability for barbershops, beauty parlors, and nail salons. I find that's often very impactful and a lot of times is driving those purchasing decisions. Hired non-owned auto is available for a lot of classes as well, including artists and contractors, most of our retail stores, our office risks, and then restaurants that are not engaged in delivery with their own employees. If they're delivering through third-party apps or no delivery operations, they qualify for hired non-owned auto as well. And then if we do have anybody joining us from a monopolistic workers' comp state, I had to learn what stopgap coverage is for you, so I always like to highlight that that's available too.
I started my career in insurance in Ohio. Um, that was a thing from the very beginning. It makes the market hard. I don't envy any producers that are in any of those states because you have about half as much commercial insurance that you can sell because the state grabs up the other half.
Well, that's why I've always heard the Ohio insurance professionals are the most hardcore ones of the lot.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan.
So we've got some optional coverages and sublimits built in as well. The real highlight here is that as you're working through our platform to adjust and add some of these coverages, you'll only have bindable options. It's never going to let you present terms that you really can't stand behind. Just flying through here. We've got some restaurant coverage enhancements available as well. They've got access to higher limits for spoilage and contamination. They've got premises security coverages, higher non-owned auto that we just discussed, stock protection, and then if they are engaged in valet operations, they can get up to $150,000 in coverage for damage to customers' property.
Which can be
So
hard to place. That's a really good coverage.
yes. And actually, kind of a cool story with that one too. We rolled out restaurants maybe what, 6 months ago at this point. And when we did
Feels
release
like
it,
it. Dan, would you believe it's been about a year?
I would have no idea. If you asked me that on a multiple choice test, I would have got that wrong.
That's all right. I'd have
Man,
passed you
time
anyway.
flies when you're having fun. So anyway, when we rolled out restaurants, that coverage was not available. One of our agency partners came to us and said, "Hey, we write a lot of restaurants. Your appetite looks great. The rates are amazing. We'd love to do more of these with you, but we need to have the option for this damage to customers' property." 2 weeks later, it was on the platform available for them to be added, nice and easy. If you're working with one of those carriers that has the TV commercials, it might take them 2 years to get all the approvals set to be able to offer that. If you're working with an insurtech, they'd probably just say, sorry, our carrier partner doesn't support that coverage. That'd be the end of the conversation. So that just is something I like to share to kind of highlight the difference of MGT and how we're able to respond to your feedback and your needs to really offer something that is of use to you. So let's go ahead now and see how it all works. So I actually like to start our journey here at mgtinsurance.com. For those of you following along on another screen, go ahead and click on the Appetite tab there in the upper left-hand corner. From there, you can see a map of all the states where we are writing business. And then we can scroll down and communicate with Aimee, our AI appetite assistant. Aimee is a really helpful tool. I know kind of the standard operating procedure when you have an appetite question is you download some long list of class codes. We've got that too, if that's what you like to do. But Aimee is so much more useful. We could ask something like, can you write a barbecue restaurant in Columbus with, let's say, 2 million sales, 20 employees, 15% alcohol sales, and 7,000, or yeah, let's do 7,000 square feet. There we go. Even with a couple typos in there, Aimee is going to be able to parse through that question, come back to us with an accurate answer, give us some guidance that we need to know when we go into that submission to know that we have all of our bases covered. And then you might take that 5-minute submission process and maybe even turn it into a 3-minute submission. So it's just there to set you up for success. One other thing I'll share on this page is if you look at the bottom right-hand corner, we've got a little chat bubble here. You can click on that and communicate with our support team. We do use AI as kind of a front line here because most questions that it gets really can be answered with artificial intelligence. But if you ever need to connect with a human, maybe you've got something really pressing, can't wait, you can always type in the word human or connect me with somebody, and it'll get you to our human team who is there ready to help and waiting for your questions. So great resource here. You can actually see some of their pictures up at the top. Just always like to share that. The real fun, though, that's going to start when we click sign in. That'll take us into the platform, which is loading apparently. You guys get to see a little peek behind the scenes. And hey, now you know it's not a pre-recorded demo. We're doing this live. So you've got some options on your screen here. You've got start a quote, build your team. You can add other users to your agency. Appetite guide. If you do have any appetite questions, you could go get some quick answers for those as well. Let's go ahead and start a new quote. And then first thing that we'll do here is type in the name of the business. Maybe we've got a Jason's Deli in, I don't know, Johnson City, Tennessee. So we'll go ahead and click that. You'll see that as you use this tool, it's very, very often able to find that business. In fact, almost every time I try this, it's able to find the business. If it ever is not pulling up for you, you can always click enter business info manually, key in their name and their address, and get started that way too. Now, once I hit quote, I'll select this and then click continue. And then what's happening now behind the scenes is we are looking up over 3,900 different data points on this business. We are using it to classify the risk, pre-qualify it, and as you'll see as we go through this process, even pre-fill a lot of the application questions as well. So you can see here, classified it as a deli or sandwich shop. I think that's pretty much right on the money. If it ever doesn't look right to you, you can always click this drop down box and then scroll through the list of class codes to find the one that is the best fit. We'll click continue. First couple of questions will always be the same. Have there been any claims? Do we need to add building coverage? I'll just leave this as it is and click continue. And then you'll see in this next page, these questions are starting to pre-fill for us. So let's go ahead. We'll give them a little bit of alcohol sales. Click continue here. You'll see it's finding the year it was established, entity type, understands it's not a home-based business, found the number of employees. But, let's say that we go here all the time. We know it's not 35. Maybe the real number is 10. If we need to make any updates to this, it's as easy as keying in the correct information. We're very confident when we get this data that it's correct, but nobody knows the risk better than you. And so it's important to be able to kind of take a second look and make sure everything looks right. Now, I do see this happen sometimes. Something about restaurants particularly seems like it triggers the special events coverage, maybe because they have like weekly specials. Let's go ahead. We'll just put 0 in there for the number of events. That way it won't include any special events coverage on here. But if we need to include special events coverage, then we can do that on this BOP as well. So we'll click continue here. Let's go ahead and add some liability, or sorry, some sales in. Click continue. And then in the next page, we'll be able to add any additional insureds and add building details. So to add an additional insured, we'll just check the box and then select our type of additional insured, enter in their name and address, couple of questions here. And then when we get to the end of the quote, that additional insured will be included. I do like to recommend including these up front because there can be an additional premium for them. So if you include them on that original quote, then the quote that you get back will be fully accurate as well. Now we'll enter in some information about the building, and you'll see our technology is finding the square footage, the construction type. We can identify whether there are automatic sprinklers or not. So it makes this really, really easy. I know this can be a pretty tedious section of most applications because a lot of times business owners don't even know this information. So good opportunity to kind of lean on our tech and let it make your job a little bit easier. If you do need to add any buildings or add any separate locations, you can do that as well. So everything's on one page, nice and easy to keep track of and follow along with. We'll click continue here. We've got one last question, which is just would we like to opt out of TRIA coverage? We'll keep that on and click continue. And then a couple seconds here, we should have a bindable quote ready to present. So one more call out. I know we kind of breezed through that submission process pretty fast. If anybody saw anything they want to talk more about, dig into a little bit, please feel welcome to use that chat feature and we'll be happy to answer those questions.
I already beat you to it, Dan.
You got the fastest typing fingers in the West, man.
We've been doing this together for so long, man. We got the synced brainwaves. I knew what you were going to ask before you even asked.
That's dangerous. So it's taking a second to load here. I have to point out, I am in our demo system, which is kind of using the second string backup servers. So when you're doing this on your screen, it's going to be even a little bit faster than what you're seeing today. So we've got a quote back already. We can scroll down. You can get some quick details about what's being quoted. And then if you continue to scroll, you'll see some of these included coverages. And then further down, you'll see some optional coverages, deductibles. All these are available to adjust. And we can make any changes that we want to make on this screen. Maybe we want to add some higher non-owned auto coverage. We'll check that box and you'll see in the upper right-hand corner that premium will update for us live as we make these changes. That lets you keep track of all the different changes that we're making and the impact of those changes to the policy. Maybe we'll add some equipment breakdown as well. That's a great coverage to include. And then, we've raised the premium by adding some coverage. Let's raise the deductible and try and find a little relief there, a little balance. Once you've got all these changes locked in, we'll click Update Quote. And now this is what we would consider to be the live or the active version of that quote. When we download the quote letter, that will reflect all these changes. And then as soon as everything gets lined up, we'll take a walk through the binding process so you can see what that looks like as well. So we'll click continue to bind. We'll confirm our effective date, and then we'll enter in the policyholder's contact information. I'll click confirm and send to insured. And then that will send out a email with a link to finalize the purchase of the policy. Uh, what's really great though is on the next page, you've got these series of checkboxes that will help you keep track of what's happening with that link once it's sent out. And you've got the insured's contact information here as well. So if you do need to do some follow up to get it over the finish line, you know where they're at in the process and how to get in touch with them. You can also download those quote documents. And then a lot of people miss this, but there's a button in the upper right-hand corner that says copy share link. That copies that link that gets emailed out. So if they don't get it for one reason or another, or if you just need to give them an extra hand in completing the process, you can click that button. I'm going to open up a new tab and paste it in, and then we'll walk through the binding process together here too. So we are oh, that's interesting. Negative premium. Don't see that too often. They're paying me to get the insurance.
It's that
So
demo environment, man. We got to keep you on your toes. So
I
just
know,
a
right?
little behind the scenes for everybody. Dan and I are like fighting and clawing to get a better demo environment for y'all. It's coming, but he's right. We pour all of our resources into the one that y'all use, so you won't see stuff like this. Just have fun with it while you do,
Yeah,
because
right.
it'll work fine for you guys. We on the inside, we got to deal with the drama.
So this is fun. Anyway, if you do select any of these installment options, you can click view payment schedule to see exactly when each installment will be due and how much it will be for. So once you've got that selected, we'll click continue. And then the next step is to e-sign policy documents. I know I've had to deal with this before. I'm sure we've got some other folks on the call who have as well. Send everything out to get it signed. It comes back to you. We're so happy, finally at the finish line. Send it up to the company, and they reject it because we forgot a signature on page 87. With our system, there's a few more guardrails in there, so that really can't happen to you. First thing we'll do is give it the squiggle. Everybody always loves when they see how easy this is. We'll agree to e-signing. And then if you click start signing, it will go through page by page, signature by signature. So you really can't miss anything. What I'll do to keep things even easier is just click sign all and knock it all out with one click of a button. Now, all those signed documents get saved in the platform, so they'll be available to you. They also are emailed over to the policyholder, so they'll have access to those documents as well. Final step here is to collect payment. It's available with credit, debit, and ACH. We do accept all major credit card brands. I do like to recommend using ACH because it's more cost effective on the transaction fees when that's an option. Then I'll just go ahead and enter in the account holder information here and click complete transaction. Now we've got an invoice, so we know that went through. And then when we go back into the platform, you'll see these checkboxes have updated for us, and we can click into view policy details. That policy's actually already been bound and issued that fast. If we needed to create a certificate of insurance or send out a declarations page, we'll have access to all those documents, so we can do that immediately. To create a certificate, that's under the quick actions button. You'll just click generate COI. You've also got a lot of helpful features on this page. You can see some high-level policy information, payment information, including whether autopay is on and active. We can click view schedule to see what's been paid, what's due, download receipts and invoices, all those great things. You've got the policy timeline that shows issuance and expiration, as well as different endorsements that can be added through the year. And then you've got access to all those policy documents. And in the exposures section, say somebody just needs to know, what their BPP limit is. If you click into building one, then you can see exactly what that is without having to go download that 85-page policy document and start combing through it. So, I think it always takes a little bit longer. That might have been about 10 minutes, us going through it together. When you do this, you don't have me narrating along the way. For you, it'll probably be even faster. I'm sure you'll knock that out in a 3 to 5 minute process.
But what if they want you to narrate, Dan?
Just call me. I'd love to go through a quote with you.
So it's not the answer I expected, but it is the right answer. Great job.
That's right. I actually save all of my best insurance puns for those one-on-one conversations. So if you like the show today, give me a call. Let's work on a quote. It'll be even better. So let's talk about a couple recent wins. I think these just really demonstrate the kinds of accounts that will be a good fit with and a good help to you with. We did an electronics retailer in Texas. This was actually a cell phone store in Houston. So if anybody's plugged into the Texas market, that's a tough territory with a tough class of business, but not for us. We replaced a non-renewal with a bound admitted policy, no theft exclusions or sublimits in less than 10 minutes. We did a grocery store in Washington. They had the 1 mil, 2 mil GL, 1 mil, 2 mil liquor liability, 75,000 in BPP. And they completed that quote in 4 minutes. That's how fast and easy it was. Then we did a seafood restaurant in Georgia, 1 mil, 2 mil GL, 1 mil, 2 mil liquor liability, about $1 million in property. And what was really cool about this one is they used all those different sublimits and optional coverages to build a policy that really responded to the needs of that business and their concerns. And so it's kind of a great example of how, yes, we start with that BOP form, but you really can tailor and customize it quite a bit. And then last and not least, maybe the most important slide on this deck is the contact information. So what I get to show off to you in these demos is our mighty good technology. What you'll get to see as you work with us a little bit more is the mighty good team that's here to stand behind that tech and continue to deliver a great experience. You've got all my contact information here. Please copy that down. Feel welcome to reach out anytime. You've also got Annalise Meza, who is a great resource and a great advocate for you. As you start to work with us more, you'll certainly be hearing from her. And if you ever need to reach out to her, you've got all her contact info as well. We do have a fantastic support team. They're available from 9 in the morning Eastern until 8 in the evening Eastern. So you have that full workday coverage no matter where you are in the country. And depending on where you are, maybe even a little earlier, a little bit later, or both. I do like to recommend, though, using that chat feature to reach out to them. Yes, they are available by phone. Yes, they are available by email, but you'll actually get helped much, much faster and more efficiently with the chat because it gives them a lot of extra information too. And then we also have Aimee, our AI appetite guide, who we all met at the beginning. She is available for you 24/7, 365 to answer those appetite questions. And so with that, that is the end of our presentation. We'll hold the floor open for another couple minutes in case anybody has any last minute questions. Please feel welcome to shout those out.
How many of these I know nobody's asking any questions. Every week I look forward to somebody stumping Dan, and it just doesn't hardly ever happen. We got a good question in from Yale earlier, but it's been a quiet group otherwise. So you must have answered everything they
Yeah.
wanted.
And hey, if you're feeling shy, if you don't like talking to people, you just saw how we went through. We quoted, bound, issued, and can service that account without ever having to talk to anybody. So if that's how you like to work, we are built just for you.
Thanks, Luis. Luis says it looks simple enough. Yeah, and that's the goal. You're absolutely right. Dan, sometimes I wonder, should that be the goal of our weekly webinars, is just turn people off from talking to us so much that they love a system where they don't have to interact with us at all. It's an interesting selling tactic for sure. All
right?
right. So since we're not getting any questions, I'll ask you one, Dan. You had some really great acronyms earlier, but what exactly does MGT stand for?
Oh, well, MGT stands for Mighty Good Time this afternoon. I know I've had one. I hope you all have too. Thanks so much for taking some time to join us today. We're really excited to be working with you and really looking forward to seeing what we can do together. So, hope you have a great rest of your afternoon and take care. I'm sure we'll see you on the platform soon.